So now let's discuss the traditional literary criticism. So this traditional criticism is above all criticism. It was used throughout the world in different countries and cultures such as in Asia and Greece. And it has been around as far as ancient times. It was mostly used in describing arts, poetry, such as Shakespeare, but evolved to the various literary criticism we see today. Traditional literary criticism evaluates an author's biographical information, their culture, background, and history. To analyze how the author's life shown in the work in which author may choose to include events, people, or places to serve as influences in their literary work. The author may also include their characteristics, thought, and emotions. Traditional critics also feel that it will help to be familiar with an author's past works, if there are any. They have determined that every writer has a unique style, a certain way with prose or structure that makes him or her different from everyone else. So second in formalism, formalism compels readers to judge the artistic merit of literature by examining its formal elements, like language and technical skill. Formalism favors a literary canon of works and exemplify the highest standards of literature, as determined by the formalist critics. So new criticism. New criticism, like the new critics, focus on examining the formal and structural elements of literature as opposed to the emotional or moral elements. Poet T.S. Eliot and critics Leanne Brooks and John Crow Ransom pioneered the approach in the mid-20th century. Literary critical theory is a tool that helps you find meaning in stories, poems, and plays. Critical theory has different meanings for different writers. As a critic, it is usually considered to be a critic of modernity and the developments and institutions associated with a modern society. Critical theory is usually more closely associated with a group of theories called the Frankfurt School. It was launched in 1937 by Max Horkheimer, the director. So next is Marxism is one of the form of the critical theory, since Marxism provides a critique of capitalism and modernism. Marxism embraces modernity, and Marxists argue that one of the main problems is that capitalism puts fetters on the progressive forces. Marxist criticism is an approach to theory and literary commentary that questions society and culture. So fourth is structuralism is an intellectual movement that focuses on the underlying structures behind language and culture. Between the late 19th and mid-20th centuries, structuralists wanted to bring science book into the analysis of culture and language. Structuralism is a movement, and this movement emerged from the theories of language and linguistics, where it looks at the underlying elements and structures in culture and literature that can be used as a channel to further interpret the surface meaning of the text or idea. The post-structuralism is an intellectual movement from France during the 1960s and 1970s to challenge the belief in stable or in changing meanings and identities. Post-structuralists question the simplicity of structuralism. For post-structuralists, the idea that language and culture were constructed by humans actually presuppose their unpredictability and vulnerability to bias.